Walk through any apartment complex where people are barely scraping by, and you'll notice something bizarre. The parking lot is full of brand new cars with temporary tags, luxury SUVs with $600 monthly payments, and trucks that cost more than most people make in a year. Meanwhile, the actual millionaire, living 3 blocks away in the nice neighborhood, he's driving a 10-year-old Honda Accord with a dent in the bumper. My name is Joe, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people make the financial decisions they do. The moment you drive it off the lot, it loses 20% of its value. That $40,000 car is now worth $32,000, and you haven't even made it home yet. You just lit $8,000 on fire for the privilege of owning something new. But it gets worse. Over the next 5 years, that car will depreciate another 40%. Meanwhile, the person who bought a 3-year-old version of the same car for $25,000 will lose maybe $9,000 in depreciation over those same 5 years. They drove the exact same car, got to the same places, but kept an extra $15,000 in their pocket. That's the difference between someone who understands money and someone who's faking wealth. The status anxiety trap. But this isn't really about cars. It's about status anxiety, which is probably the most expensive psychological condition you've never heard of. Status anxiety is this gnawing feeling that you need to prove your worth to other people through visible markers of success. And cars are the ultimate visible marker because you literally drive them around all day for everyone to see. Think about how insane this is. You're spending $600 per month, plus insurance, plus gas, plus maintenance, just so strangers at traffic lights will think you're doing well. You're essentially paying thousands of dollars per year for the approval of people you don't know and will never see again. It's like hiring a billboard company to follow you around, telling everyone you're successful. Except the billboard is slowly bankrupting you. The truly wealthy don't need this validation because they have something better. Actual money in the bank. When you know you have substantial savings and investments, you stop caring what your car says about you. You realize it's just a tool to get from point A to point B. But when you're broke and trying to look successful, that car becomes your entire identity. The math, nobody wants to see. Let's run the actual numbers because this is where things get really depressing for people financing new cars. Average car payment in America right now is around $700 per month. Add in insurance for a newer car. That's probably another $200. Gas, maintenance, registration. You're looking at maybe $1,100 per month, minimum. That's $13,200 per year. Just to look like you're doing well. Now here's what happens. If you drive a paid-off beater instead, let's say you buy a reliable used car for $8,000 cash. Insurance is maybe $100 per month because it's older. Maintenance might be $150 per month because yes, older cars need more work. You're spending maybe $3,000 per year total. That's a $10,200 annual difference. Invest that $10,200 per year at 8% return. The debt slavery connection. Here's something darker that nobody wants to admit. That car payment keeps you trapped in your job. When you're paying $700 per month for a car, you cannot afford to take risks. You can't quit a job you hate. You can't negotiate aggressively for a raise because you're terrified they'll fire you. You can't start a business or take time off to find something better. You're chained to that paycheck because your car demands to be fed every single month. The person driving the beater, they have options. Their monthly expenses are low enough that they could survive a job loss. They could take a pay cut for a better opportunity. They could invest in themselves, start a side business, or make career moves that the car payment person simply cannot afford to make. Financial flexibility is worth more than any car ever could be, but most people trade it away for sheet metal and a fancy logo. The rich person's car strategy. Let me tell you how actually wealthy people think about cars. They ask one question. What is the minimum I need to spend to get reliable transportation? That's it. They're not trying to impress anyone. They're not using their car as a stand-in for themselves. They just need something that starts every morning and doesn't break down constantly. This is why you see millionaires driving 10-year-old Toyotas. Not because they're cheap, but because they've done the math and realized that spending $40,000 on a new car versus $8,000 on a reliable used car is just burning money for no reason. They'd rather have that $32,000 difference in their investment account where it can actually grow. And here's the really counterintuitive part. The older and wealthier someone gets, the less they care about their car. Young people trying to establish themselves feel intense pressure to look successful. But people who've actually achieved success, they've realized that nobody who matters is impressed by your car. The people judging you for driving an older vehicle aren't the people whose opinions matter. The insurance company knows insurance companies have figured out something interesting. They charge way more to insure expensive new cars, not just because they cost more to replace, but because, statistically, people who buy expensive new cars are more likely to get in accidents. Why? Because people who make impulsive, status-driven decisions about major purchases also make impulsive, status-driven decisions behind the wheel. Meanwhile, the person driving the beater is statistically more likely to be a careful driver. They've demonstrated patience and long-term thinking by not buying a new car in the first place. Here's what's really fascinating from a psychology standpoint. They'll convince themselves they need a brand new car for completely rational reasons. But if you dig deeper, it almost always comes down to, I wanted people to see me in a nice car. And that story gets more expensive to maintain every year as the car depreciates and the payments keep coming. The bottom line, every dollar you spend on a car beyond basic, reliable transportation is a dollar that can't compound and grow into your financial freedom. The car will depreciate. Your investments will appreciate. This isn't complicated math. The only reason people choose the car is because they value other people's opinions more than they value their own financial future. So next time you see someone in a beat-up car, remember they might be the richest person you'll meet that day. And next time you're tempted to buy a new car to prove something to someone, ask yourself, would I rather look successful or actually be successful? Because in most cases, you can't afford both.